Hey, hi guys. Today we are going to talk about the difference between simple and complex carbohydrates. We have talked about carbohydrates and a little bit about the difference. The main difference between simple and complex carbohydrates in layman's language is that they get digested with different rates. Simple carbohydrates get digested quickly and complex carbohydrates get digested slowly. The difference arises because of their chemical structures. They have different chemical structures. Simple carbohydrates have a simple chemical structure in the sense that it is easier for the body to break them down and digest. And complex carbohydrates have a bit more complex chemical structure, so it is a bit tough for the body to digest them. So the main difference in the chemical structure is because of the bonding between the molecules, but we would not go into that. So the main thing is that simple carbohydrates get digested quickly, complex carbohydrates get digested slowly, and this difference arises because of their chemical structures. Now, simple carbohydrates are also generally called as sugars. So the sugars that you talk about in the day-to-day life are simple carbohydrates. So they are used interchangeably. Uh, their chemical structure is simple. So if you eat simple carbohydrates, uh, they will give you insulin spike. We have talked about this in a previous video. If you eat a lot of sugar, then your blood sugar, a lot of simple sugar or simple carbohydrate, then your blood sugar goes up immediately because they digested very quickly. And when your blood sugar is above a certain limit, then your body releases insulin, and that insulin takes that blood sugar down, puts some of it in liver and muscles, and rest of it as fat. So they will give you an insulin spike which you do not want. So they are not something that you should eat often, or they are something that should be avoided. So you should avoid simple carbohydrates because they are going to give you insulin spike. They are more prone to give you insulin spike if you eat them above a certain quantity. I'm not saying that if you ate a few pieces of sugar, then a few pieces of table sugar, then it will give you insulin spike. That is not the case. Usually our blood tolerates about 10 gram of sugar at one point of time. So if it exceeds that limit, then you will have the insulin spike and perhaps more fat gains. Complex carbohydrates get digested slowly because of their complex chemical structure. No insulin spikes because they get digested slowly. So they keep getting into the blood sugar slowly. So at one point of time, that sugar is not above a certain limit. So let's say it got digested, some of it came into your blood, and then it got used with whatever you were doing, or your body used it somewhere, and then or your body stored it in liver or muscle glycogen stores, and then some of it more of it got digested. Then again your blood sugar got a little up. Then again your body used it in any activity that you were doing, or it got stored in liver and muscle glycogen stores. Hence, there was no insulin spike. Complex carbohydrates are much more preferred over simple carbohydrates because they do not give you insulin spike. So you should have most of your food, most of your carbohydrates as complex carbohydrates. Ideally, you should have all of them as complex carbohydrates, but if you cannot have that case practically, then have most of your food as complex carbohydrates, most of your carbohydrates as complex carbohydrates. So I'll just try to give you a real life example on how to understand this. So if you buy something from a store It has nutrition information. There they tell you how much protein, X amount of protein, Y amount of fats, and then Z amount of carbohydrates. So let's say a label says 10 grams of carbohydrates and sugar 2 grams. That means that there is total 10 grams of carbohydrates. Out of that 10 gram, 2 grams is simple carbohydrate, which is sugar, and 8 grams is complex carbohydrate, which is not sugar. So that is how you read it and understand it. Now, examples of simple carbohydrate would be table sugar, the normal sugar that we use in milk and many other products while eating. Fruit juices that we drink. I'm not saying that don't drink fruit juices, although a lot of trainers would say that fruits and fruit juices will give you insulin spike, but I suggest that have them in moderation. If you're really very conscious, then you can avoid them, and you can supplement your vitamins and minerals need. But if you have the fruit juices, have them in moderation. Do not have them in excess quantities. Now, the sweets that you eat have a lot of simple carbohydrates or sugars in them. So these are the examples of simple carbohydrates. Then brown rice or brown bread is a complex carbohydrate. They get digested slowly. Potato or sweet potato, they have some amount of sugar, but they are more of complex carbohydrates. Oats, they are complex carbohydrates, rich in fiber also. So these are examples of complex carbohydrates. This was all about the simple and complex carbohydrates that I wanted to tell you, so that you have a basic knowledge of how all of this works. If you like the video, please like it. If you have any questions or suggestions, please put them in the comment box. If you like the channel, please subscribe it. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.